Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's Monday. It's Monday, baby. I've realised, right, that Monday is pretty much the only day of the week that I get right. So I'm not sure, but I think it would be safe to say that I could potentially blame Monday for my inability to know what day of the week it is ongoing. So let's just not blame me, not my fault, Monday's fault. But anyway, you're looking absolutely amazing, so you must have had a good weekend. Let me know all about it down below, as in this video, I just go back to something that I had spoken on at length regarding the potential for a theory that wasn't Brian Koberger, as we continue to understand that, or some of us understand, that at the moment there isn't really enough evidence to say 100% Brian Koberger did this crime. Look, he could have done it. We just need for that to be proven. And I know that there's a lot of people who have a lot of faith in the system and just say, don't worry, there's more coming out during the trial. The more time goes on, the more I am doubtful of that. I understand that there could be some things that come out during the trial, but I don't have the confidence that you do, and for that reason, I am still open to there being alternatives. And one of the alternatives that I spoke about was the fraternity and this fight, and the fact that there was a fight earlier on in the evening, and there was a mention of the potential use of steroids. And I spoke about my own encounter with a close friend of mine who was doing the same thing and had become literally a ticking time bomb that would eventually see him imprisoned. And look, it's very real. But having considered that over and over again and thought, look, with what I know about it and my own experience, was I being completely accurate in how I portrayed that to people? And is the frat boy theory one that truly does hold the most weight over an alternative? And I think what I've done for some time is I've avoided the hot potato, and that is the narcotic situation, because for a long period of time I kind of thought, do you know what I mean, cartels and all this is just overstretching. Do you know what I mean? I think it was just, I thought this is just something that I don't see a cartel per se getting involved with college students and going into a house and doing this crime. But I think as I've now started to pull apart my own way that I've looked at the fraternity situation, it's opening my eyes to potential other alternatives that perhaps do in fact hold more weight. And it was not only my thinking about things more in depth with respect to the fraternity brothers theory, it was, Pavarotti, Jay Ombre, he put a video out talking about all of the things that were happening around this case with respect of the narcotic arrests and, and I'm not going to get too in depth with it. If you didn't watch that video, head over to Jay Ombre. He did it the other day. But it does open your eyes to things. And I think with respect to the fraternity brothers, here's the issues that I have with it, okay? There's a fight. There's a fight at this party. And the way that roid rage happens, if you like, is somebody snaps. They don't give a flying monkey shit where they are. There is no control. There is a complete lack of control. It's not about calculation. It's not about holding that in, waiting, and then attacking it. It doesn't work that way. For my friend, it never worked that way. He could be in a building, and he was in a building at one point, I touched on this, where we had gone to a friend who had bought a hotel, and we'd gone there together, and we weren't going to take him, but we took him, and he was okay for most of the evening until last orders, and then it just fucking erupted. And he literally wanted to fight the entire building, and he didn't care where he was. There is no control over that. It is just a case of bang, gone. And that's where, when I think about the Idaho 4 crime itself, there is a control element here. There is an element of somebody went in there knowing what they were going to do, and they did it. It weren't so much rage as it was controlled rage. And there is no control when it comes to roid rage. That is just an explosive temper in the moment that is triggered by potentially something stupid, something that other people would not pick up on, would ignore, would laugh off. They do not have the ability to do that. So if this fight was going to erupt into this, it would have erupted at the fraternity house itself, and it would have gone on from there and potentially into the street and all the way home. It would have been something that didn't stop, and then think about it, and then move again and go. It doesn't operate that way. Does that make sense? And I also think with the fraternity brothers, there is such there's a vast amount of moving pieces. And the more moving pieces there are, the more you have the chances of somebody who knows something saying something. And I know people have talked about the Greek Wall of Silence and Hyde and stuff, but would they truly? Would they truly? You've got girls, you've got boys, you've got relationships that come and go, you've got friendships that come and go. You've got the fraternity brothers who seemingly, this sort of mentality they have has not subsided. We've seen this with the Timmy Reed situation. But would you think that if this had happened and there was knowledge of it and how that had exploded into something so horrendous, so horrific, that there would be an element of, I suppose, trying to avoid this kind of shit just in case it exploded into this again and, they couldn't escape at this time? Do you think that there would be a degree of, we've got away with it, this has happened, let's not touch this anymore, let's walk away from this mentality, let's walk away from this shit? I don't know, but again, the more I deep dive and think about the steroidal use and roid rage and how that is, exacerbated in the moment, and I don't know whether that holds as much weight as I initially thought. I don't, and it would be disingenuous of me to be here saying that I now think that the Frat Brothers theory is the one that holds the most weight, when in fact, thinking about it, there are elements of this that can point in two different directions. And that is, again, we have a huge amount of narcotics activity around this area. And we have parents and step-parents of the victims on the peripheral involved in things that, in my opinion, could have resulted in this happening. It happens. We can stick a head in the sand and avoid it. We can ignore it. We can simply say that we don't know. But has there been hints of things been said by others? Like it was Ethan Chapin's older stepbrother who had come out at the beginning. We spoke about him recently. And we think about the Chapins and how they have stepped back and never really been supportive of Xana. They've not really, I don't even know if they have mentioned her more than once. And, they've been very standoffish with that situation, but they've walked away, they've left it alone, and they've also gone back into the court system. And I was calling the Chapins a sellout before because I thought, have you just sold out? Because of the way the university have, acted and behaved. Was that indicative? Was their behaviour indicative of a family that had sold out to a system that hides and manipulates and could have potentially been involved? But then I think, would a family genuinely, if they genuinely believed that their child had been killed by people within that school, could they walk away? Could they walk away? Could they just ignore what had happened and send the other kids back into it? And that is a question that I want to believe that would not be possible for them to do. I don't want to think of any family being able to do that. And certainly you've got to appreciate that if it's not just the parents, it would be the siblings themselves being accepted of that. And I just can't see it. I genuinely can't see it. The more I think about it, the more I believe that I'm ignoring more viable options in this. And look, Brian Koberger is still a viable option. But I do believe that a narcotic situation, the more I think about it, and the more you hear about what is going on through this area, and the more you are made aware of the huge problem that they have, which isn't getting any better, it's getting worse. And there's been some huge arrests in the area around this time as well. And we've also seen some people walk who would have, in any normal circumstances, they would have potentially been incarcerated. Doesn't make sense that certain people have walked away from what they have. Emma, Demetrius, some of the others that Pav mentioned, and if you haven't seen it, go and watch his video. But also, something else that is, I suppose this is a curveball. The one thing that's always stuck out to me is that someone in that house had made the statement, "I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you." And I can't get this feeling out of my mind that the only person I could see being in a situation like that and saying that is law enforcement. That, to me, is law enforcement or military. Because they would be the only people who would be able to be in a situation that's highly volatile, dangerous, there's things happening, you've got people who are scared, and someone arrives and has the ability to say, and the confidence to say, and even the mindset to say, "I'm here to help you. Don't worry, I'm here to help." That's military, or as cop. It's just a feeling that I get. Let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch you all in the next one.